I thought it would be interesting to discuss the start of it all. So I went back and read the first appearance of Superman, and boy, I wasn't disappointed. Written by Jerry Siegel and art by Joe Shuster, who we all know of by now, these comics were much simpler back in the day. It all starts relatively the same, but with a few changes. Superman is sent to Earth from Krypton, but here in Action Comics #1, it is just stated to be a distant planet. He is sent here in a spaceship by an unnamed scientist as the planet is being destroyed by old age. You can already see how much more basic the comics are in the 1930s. But as we see in the next few panels, they try to add some scientific explanations to Superman, albeit still quite basic. As the ship lands on Earth, a passing motorist finds the baby and drops him to an orphanage, which seems like the first thing you should do when a spaceship with a baby lands on your planet. Now the major difference here is obviously no farm and no Kents. However, as we'll find out shortly, he still gets the name Clark Kent. Carrying on. His powers are developing as he grows, like we see in most iterations of the character. Like we have here a child casually carrying a chair. Stated here, it's not the Earth's yellow sun that his powers are derived from, it's the fact that his species' physical structure being millions of years more advanced than that of a human. The original powers of Superman were enhanced strength, he could leap 1/8 of a mile, or hurdle a 20-story building, run faster than an express train, which is where we get the original cartoon.
Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. The infant of Krypton is now the Man of Steel, Superman!
And to top it off, his skin is practically impenetrable. Here is where they try and use science to justify his powers. As the story progresses, you'll see Superman was a menace. Like his first outing, we follow here, has him going to see the governor and tell him that the wrong person is about to be executed in jail. And he gets here, and the governor's wife opens the door and is like, nah, not today. So Superman literally kicks the door in and he's like, I am seeing him now. And the wife babbles on how this is illegal, so Supes literally just picks her up one-handed, breaks down the governor's steel door to his bedroom, because for some reason people back then had steel doors to their rooms, and he's like, here's your wife, here's a note, you're about to kill the wrong person. Quite literally 4 pages in, and you can see how different comics were back in the days, not to mention the character of Superman himself. At this stage, no one knows of Superman's exploits too much. Like, it's not as discussed as it is in the modern era of comics, where like every citizen on Earth and beyond knows of Superman nowadays. So when asked by his boss at what was back then called the Daily Star, Clark is shocked, trying to brush it off, and ends up being assigned to the Superman case himself. Ironic. His work colleague casually mentions that a lady is being beaten, because that just comes up in the news. So Superman, being Superman, goes to save the day, and bro full just throws this dude at a wall, man. Like, he literally just boom, body slam through a wall, laters. Now this is what I mean by Superman was just a menace. He acts a lot like Batman by just handing out beatings and ultimatums. This guy then tries to literally stab Superman, but when the knife just breaks, old mate just passes out, which I just kind of found pretty funny, I'm not gonna lie. Then we pick up with Clark asking Lois to dinner, and she says yes, which, while dancing, some dude just walks up and demands Clark let Lois dance with him, and trying to disguise himself as the weakling so nobody thinks that he is Superman, he acts scared and agrees. Lois just one-shots this guy, calls a cab, and she just jets, man. Like, she is not happy. Like, she just wanted Clark to be some like big stoic man, and he's just like getting manhandled by some like random dude who's come and been like, yo bro, I'm stealing your girl. The dudes end up going after Lois in the cab, and they take her, but you guessed it, Superman appears. Now this panel here is where the iconic cover came from, of Superman picking up the green car as he shakes them out and then just casually destroys the car against a rock. So I'll put it right here for you all. Then back at the Daily Star, Lois is trying to explain what happened to their boss, which he just doesn't believe. He thinks it's like, he's like, what, you see pink elephants or something? Like, bro. So Clark apologizes to Lois for the night, and then he gets assigned to his next job. So as we draw near the end, Clark goes to Capital City, sees the senator talking to this fellow named Alex Greer, like a social lobbyist or like an extremist lobbyist or something, and he jumps up and then climbs up this building as he never originally had the power of flight back in the day. He overhears the two talking some shady political things, and bro full just grabs this Alex Greer dude by the ankle and literally just takes off with him. He's just jumping place to place. Like, man, when I say Superman just struck these guys with fear, I mean it. He's like a smiling Batman, and that's actually kind of scary. Like, in these first comics, he's literally just like prancing around happy, just causing destruction, bro. Like, I don't understand, but I love it. I'm here for it all the time. And then he almost electrocutes this guy. Like, it is crazy. He's jumping around power lines. He's like, oh, they're not going to touch you. Oh, you won't get electrocuted if you're not grounded to something. You know, birds are up here all the time. And then he's like, oh, whoopsie doodles, man. I just almost accidentally electrocuted you, bro. So it's just absolutely phenomenally crazy. Like, he's just jumping around. What if we go here? What if I throw you through that? What if I electrocute you? Like, bro, Superman, calm down. But anyway, that wraps up Action Comics #1, Superman's first appearance, one of the most iconic and notable comic books to date ever, selling for millions for a first print edition. But if you made it this far, and I'm incredibly grateful if so, I'm just a new small channel, but I hope to grow. So it would mean a lot if you could subscribe, smash that like button, and comment down below, let me know what you think. We're going to get on to more of this series, probably do a whole entire first appearance series if you were keen. So let me know which character you'd like to see next. I am thinking Batman, but you let me know and we'll talk about it down there. Have you read this comic? Do you own this comic? I have a copy myself, but it is definitely not in the first 10 prints like at all. It's just worth a bit, but it's not one that you think. So that's all for now. Until next time, comics is